I should not have to explain this, but I will, so that legally you can understand what you are supposed to be able to do and what you are not. Because people in my comments are saying, well, you're a public figure and we have the right to speak to your therapist. We have the right to contact your therapist if we're worried about your well-being. No, you do not. If you are worried about my well-being, you contact the police, not a person's therapist. And it does not matter that you gave my YouTube channel to my therapist, because legally my therapist could not watch those videos without my permission or engage in conversation about them, because she was a therapist. She was only to speak to me about things that I wanted to work on. My YouTube channel and my therapy sessions are very clearly different things. A therapist is only allowed to gather information about you from you, not from thousands of other people messaging them to warn them. Legally, she was not supposed to be following my YouTube, and she wasn't, because she was a good therapist. There is a patient-doctor privacy thing in place. Like, okay, let me see if I can explain this. When I was in the mental hospitals, right? Specifically, there was one woman who was put in there nearly every week. This was in Florida. And she would get upset with the workers there at the mental hospital because she would see them on the street later and they would ignore her and pretend like they didn't know her. Because legally, they have to. Legally, mental health care workers don't know you. Legally, they cannot follow you publicly. All the information that they receive to help you, they obtain from you. And there is an important reason why that is that none of you will ever understand. But the fact that hundreds or thousands of you went beyond the public watching to contact my therapist and are now trying to convince yourself that you were right in doing so proves that you have no idea of what boundaries there are, which is a big problem for me, because I was raised in a home with zero boundaries, and I'm trying to learn to live a life that has boundaries. And thousands of people attempting to contact my therapist, threaten her job, threaten her life, and try to put me in a mental hospital using my therapist and my YouTube channel. That's a huge boundary that you are crossing, that you have crossed, and that you don't even understand you have crossed. You need to understand that you have crossed a boundary. A very large one. Like, the gap between my YouTube and my therapist was that gap was larger than my titties, and y'all jumped it, alright? And it's never going to be okay.